So, first of all, thank you very much for having the balls to join us here. Everybody's going to work on one tree at a time. You can work on as many trees that you can get through, but we're working on one tree at a time. And what I ask you to do is, once you've styled that tree, you can then put it to the side or put it back in your car, because we do get a lot of trees in here. Alright, so that's important.
No, I would say, put it on the table. It would be nice tomorrow evening to see.
To see the trees. Oh, no, not tomorrow evening, not going to be here.
No.
But
This is sure I'm going to play.
yeah. Alright. So, first thing we're going to do is every single tree we're going to discuss. So use it experience and see what the work is going to be done on each tree. Alright? Some will be done quickly because we know, and each of the artists are going to give their opinion. Okay, so Terry, his skill is refining. My skill is looking at the raw material and saying this is what we're going to do. And finding the tree refining, Terry comes along and really makes it special. Next, we've got Will. Will and I met in a rainy street in Bath.
Yeah.
We got drunk with Fiona. Something like that. You'll all know Will, that's on IBC. Will has also exhibited at Nolander's, and he's here particularly to work with a lot of people who are not as confident, people who want to understand wiring, but he's also here to do some carving. Next, thank you, Will.
All right.
Will! Again, for you on IBC, you will know who Pavel is. His speciality is pine trees. He can make the big bends. Okay? So if you're into pines, this is your man. This is your man. Okay? So Pavel needs no introduction. The big guy. Alright. Carlos, I'll tell you the story of when Carlos and I first met. New talent competition, 1996, in Munich, and I was sat with Terry. Terry entered for the UK, and Carlos entered for
Holland.
Okay, yeah, we're sat on a big table here, we're full of Italians, we've got Italians and Dutch with us, and we're drinking, and we're waiting for the results to come through. And the guy who wins the new talent competition in 1996 is Carlos. And the place went wild, and he had hair. He had long hair.
Like you.
Can you believe it? He had long hair. And I had a bottle of champagne ready to open for Terry. But we decided, boo, Dutch man wins. So I go and take the bottle of champagne and I go, here. And I say to you, this is your time. But the thing with winning the new talent competition, as Carlos says, it's only the opens the door.
No more than that.
No more than that. You're not the best by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so we have here new talent winners. Me, I won for England. Oh, sorry, UK. Pavel wins the European in Trevorez. And this was the judge. So we know what's going on here, okay? New talent winner
After 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
So we're all new talent. We're all new talent winners.
All right.
Yeah, where's Andrew? Andrew wins as well.
Yeah, has to be.
All right.
It's karma.
Yes.
So, I don't want to get into politics, but all egos are left at the front door. Okay? Do not be afraid to ask. And then in the afternoon, we just get on and work and work and work. 5 o'clock, I want you to start tidying up and clearing away, because Steve and Bob and anybody else that would like to help us, we will set this out for dinner. We set out one big table. Okay? And what I ask you to do is don't sit with your friends. Don't sit with somebody who you've not come with. Yeah? And meet them and find out who they are. Sit with the Germans. I know we don't like the Germans, but sit with the Germans. No. Sit with the Czechs. Even sit with the Welsh.
No.
But dude, I definitely suggest you get to mix and meet people. Yeah? It's important that you understand in your network, as people say, because then you get to find out what they're about and get invited to other countries. Yeah? Why don't you come over and see me sometime? That's how it happens. So mix, all right?
We talked about it yesterday already. You have it from Switzerland.
Yep.
Yeah. You already Or this is the position you think you want to do? You made a drawing, I think. Maybe
Yes,
it's good to
yes.
see everybody to show it.
What's the drawing?
Okay. But the thing that I see in the tree yesterday is that there are a few possibilities. What I like of the tree, this Yamadori, the thing is the trunk does to make the curve. In the way it grows, the curve repeats. This is how Yamadori mostly grows. If the trunk does that, the branch is always like that. It's mostly by the roots. The roots grow that way, the branch grow that way. So, to make the tree that the drawing was, is easy. So just make one apex here and it's done. The first thing, in my opinion, was, maybe it's better, but it's first because there are more possibilities, is try to make use of the curve. So you have like apex here, an apex here, an apex on top. Because if everything goes down, the tree is not as compact anymore, because this has a great movement and this part is more straight. So if you want to cover the straight part up, you have to put green here and green here, so make the tree like a triangle. Then it's more. This is my first. Personally, I would do that. The thing is then that the tree will be too long. If you do that, you have to cut this off, because this is beautiful, but this makes the tree longer. So if you want to make the decision to put the apex here, it's okay. Then you can leave this, because this is part of the tree then. So the genes go through the green, it's beautiful. If you want to make it more compact and more curving, this has to go. If I may say for everybody, most of the trees are dry, I think, so that is good, because if you enter a workshop or whatever, always put your tree a day before in the house. It's warmer, so it's more flexible, and it's dry, so it's better to work. Also with pruning. Also wisely that everybody has a turntable and always take wedges of wood. Wedges is a good thing?
Wedges,
yeah.
Wedges, because mostly you have to change the intonation. So if people want to be prepared, always, it's a common thing, just so I like to talk.
All right, can I start this one, because it's one of my trees. When people buy these trees, the hardest thing, and we discussed this, is
Find the tree in the tree.
find the tree in the tree. And so that when you're buying Yamadori, and if you're coming in my garden, always look for something that's really strong and healthy like this. This is really, really healthy. What's going to happen with this is it's got to be completely cleared and then establish where your foliage is going to go. If you look at Mikey, can you just go and grab your tree? The big one with the deadwood. Today is going to be stage one of this tree. So it is a case of finding out the best part of it and bringing out the best part of that. And that's our objective today. Okay? I don't think you'll be doing any wiring. You may, but what we're going to do is we're going to clear it out. Yeah.
So you're directing the strength in what you need rather than what you don't.
Which is exactly what's happened here. We'll discuss this tree next, okay, because it's here. But that's what's happened here. This was in my garden. I've had this about 6 years. So what you've got to do is you've got to get from that to that. Now, when I had this was hot. This was all alive. It was a big bush. It was as compact. That was as compact as that. But what you can see we've done is we've now. And I suggest everybody takes a look at this. You'll see there's been some major cuts taken, yeah. But everything is there now, ready to style that tree. But that is 3 years on from that.
It's surprising when you get into these trees, you find some really unusual deadwood, and that when you actually clear a lot of this out. I mean, these big branches, you're not going to be using these. You're going to be cutting back and thinning this really out. But don't go in too quickly, because you might be cutting off the branch that you need. So really, you've got to try to clear in the get rid of anything that's old and dead. And the more you clear it out, the more you see the tree revealing itself.
I'll be working on this one.
Yeah, and looking at it, it has got some really nice deadwood in there.
Yeah.
So it's just like a Christmas present. You start unwrapping it, and then you see something really special. But it really has got a beautiful Navari.
Which is unusual in Yamadori. It's very unusual to get a very good Navari.
Yeah.
That's one of its.
The best way to approach is when you find a tree is just removing.
Mhm.
For sure, you know, like you have a straight branch, you won't use it, so cut it.
Yeah. You want to be. Oh, sorry about that.
No,
Yeah, you want to be working on this sort of stuff because this is what you're going to create the branches on. That thickness of branch in a few years' time is going to be that thickness, and you've also got to think it's a very small tree, so you don't want a really thick branch on there. You really got to start from scratch. Get your trunk and foliage roughly where it's going to go, and then you grow the tree on from there. And you grow it in the right way. You know, you don't let it go straight. You keep cutting it back so that you get ramification from an early start, and then 10 years down the line, you've got a perfect branch. You know, many times you work on these trees and you get a snaking branch, and it looks fantastic on the day you wire it. 10 years later, you think, oh, and you're cutting it off and you're starting again. So now's the time to actually put yourself on the right track and create a bonsai the right way. You know.
We always say that the slowest way is the fastest way in the end.
Yeah.
If you, for example, what I want to say first is if you have a bush, most people don't know how to start because it's like a broccoli. So if you see the tree and you know for sure this I won't use, cut it. The things you can eliminate gives you space, and the tree will come for yourself. So remove what you can remove and it will grow. What Terry says is really true. If you, for instance, we can do the tree, we can do the showering, the gins, we can make the live we can wire it, everything is there. But then you will lose some branches, some tips and so on. It's like eating an apple bit by bit. If you make the selection and let it grow, it's slow, but in the end, you're there. Because it grows at the right place where you want it to grow. So,
This will rock it. Once you do your work this year, it'll have that much foliage next year. You know, it really does.
I think when you're beginning, a lot of people are afraid to cut things off. One of the great things about yew trees is the more you cut off, the stronger the other parts get, you know. And that was exactly the same with the selection process of this. Okay, Will, have you any comments on that one?
Do they bud back when you hit them hard? I'm not too sure about
They
this.
do.
Yes. They'll bud back further.
Yeah, okay. Well,
So you've got a backup plan if you do.
That's right. Let me
make the mistake of cutting off.
That's a good point. They will bud on old wood, which is great. If we're talking about refinement, which is what is going to take place with this, and what I suggest you do is, they bud back on third year growth. Right. After the third year, that's when they bud on the old wood. So, there you go.
That started back budding. You started this 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
And we had lots of growth this long, and this is what we've got this year. I cut back quite a long way, about 5-6 inches, and now we're starting to get the back budding. Still,
so that's what yours will be like in next year. Yeah, it'll be that, and then from that's slightly more foliage, but that's where we are with that. Okay. All right.
Tremendous deadwood on some of these.
I've done.
Absolutely.
This is exactly how a yew tree should be prepared, ready for styling, because you can get your wire onto the branches really well. Yeah. Style-wise, Will.
We discussed this yesterday. Had a quick look at it, and Mikey said that he preferred a front kind of through this direction, which kind of closes the hole up that you've got in the middle of the tree. But we've got a very flat area on the deadwood at the front here, and we were wondering whether it would be a good idea to just punch some depth into it. That might be a way forward for it. There's also how long this section here. I don't know about the deadwood on these. I know it's very, very hard and old.
Very hard. It'll stay hard.
It'll stay hard forever, will it?
With my lifetime.
Well, that's not long.
No, it's not. Thank you.
Thank you.
I walked into that one.
But I mean, all the structure is there. It just needs placing, really, doesn't it? And
yeah.
Maybe cutting back the long extensions a bit.
Branch on there. Be careful with it. It's a bit. First one. Yeah. This one here. It's very weak. If you touch it, it's just got a very small bit of cambium left on it.
You'll wire that one.
But yeah, it's a very nice tree. Yeah, I think just a little bit of depth to the deadwood in this middle section here would be a good idea.
How about putting a stone in the hole?
You've got to find
the right
Stone,
stone.
haven't you?
Yeah, that's what we said.
We talked about yesterday. The thing is, if you put it, the first thing I said, if you bring the tree more down in the soil, you would get rid of the problem. The only thing is that the Nabari does this,
Yeah.
like Mount Fuji. That's beautiful. If you bring it more down, you lose it then. So the tree has probably grew on a stone or a rock. So it's not easy, but I think if you find a rock or something, it makes it completely more special.
Another idea for
Okay.
this is, I think that's too heavy, so you've got to do something with that, Jim. But I would take that out of the ground, tip the tree more that way, and have this like an unbalanced, you know,
Yeah.
virtually have that out of the ground. You know, like you used to have.
Like the one for the down bar?
Yeah, down back.
Yeah.
I would seriously.
Like a dancer.
Yeah, more that way. I think you'd have to reduce these to do that because it would be unbalanced, and then, you know, lay this branch further back that way, and create a tree, a slightly smaller tree than you've got now, and try to balance it with the foliage. It's just another.
There's a lot of good options in there, for sure. Just so you know, the tree that Dan Barton's got that I gave him has got exactly the same problem, but none of you know there's a stone in there that's the same colour as the bark. There is a stone in that tree.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Would you think there's
Yeah,
an option to
that's
take
a
the
different
shorter
way, yeah.
chin right out?
In fact, I think this probably, you could actually do something with, you know, the line vein on this side, like Carl said, put movement in it, put like a shari, try to make a vein on this side. Yeah, it's much better, and also it goes away from you and comes back to you.
Yeah,
So this,
that's a bit different.
Really interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of options.
yeah, that's the thing. You never go for the obvious.
Yeah,
at
if you do
first,
that, you
because-
can also in future have a more elegant pot.
Yeah.
More round or female, you know what I mean?
The
Instead
dead
of
wood is
square.
nice around this side
Yeah.
as well, isn't it?
This part is dead trunk
Yeah,
movement.
yeah.
Is hurt.
Yeah.
Oh no!
See, Tony's trees are like
Yeah,
that.
all my trees are like that. Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? Because when you've always looked at that as the front, that's one of the nice things about bringing your tree here. You've got 4 people.
Yeah,
You know?
you
And as I said, all the eagles are left at the door. If we choose Terry's option, you know, Carlos, and we're not going to sulk, are we? If we go with Terry's idea and not your or my idea, we're not going to
No,
be.
it's democratic.
Well, we all get
Yes.
It's
new
democratic.
ideas.
If you have 10 people, if you have Kimura and Kato, whatever, everyone has, you know,
Opinion.
because there are more options in a tree.
Yeah.
And one is for the best, is for the tree,
Yeah.
it's compact or the movement or whatever. One is the owner, as says also an idea. It's all together, you decide what to do. It's just a step. But I think I like more, like Terry says, if you have it's a strange tree,
Yeah.
it's rare, so
Do something exceptional.
yeah, do it, make use of it.
Mikey, what do you want to do? It's your
If you
tree.
keep it this way, it's okay,
Yeah.
but you need a rock, for sure. Otherwise you lose the movement of the Nabari, or etc., etc. Or you take the other solution. It can be really interesting. To make the tree is not a problem because the branches are there. Everything is there. We have a top, bottom, everything is there. So
Many, many options for you.
Yeah.
Jalovec Viržinský, Garden, Demadovit. Kuba. Jo? Zajímavý pohyb tmene až nahoru.
There is a nice movement to the top part with the trunk.
Tady je velmi silná větev, má krásný pohyb, takže ta pohledovost...
Bonsai.
Nevím, dívám se, jestli... V podstatě asi bych vyřezal tohleto silnou větev.
Probably he would cut off this white branch.
odstranil vlastně tady tyhle
Take
tyčiny
out
až
Jins.
long. And pokračoval v pohybu
And he
vlastně.
will repeat the movement from the trunk to the top.
Že se mi nezdá, že by byl zrovna v kondici, bohužel.
Unfortunately, maybe he think that is not in great condition.
Dried out in the summer. It's actually been stressed and the tips have dried out. Yeah, I think.
Garden type flavour, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, but you see the tips.
Yeah.
It's actually dried. They died back at the tip.
It looks Burrs virginiana. My Ada.
It's got some reasonable movement on it, though, so.
Sorry, what do you think just happened?
It's
Because of the sun?
Yeah, no, it's dried out.
Yeah, in the summer it was stressed.
Yeah, but they will come back. It's already. But how long ago did it do this? Was it quite a while ago? Mid of summer.
Well, summer, yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a good colour.
It's recovering now.
Yeah. But it's whether or not you work on it, do a lot of work on it, will it affect it? Because there's no point in having a beautiful dead tree.
Yeah.
You know, when you have when it stresses in summer, you don't really want to be tuned too much.
Okay.
You can get all the preparation done. But it looks pretty healthy. It is healthy. I think it's done it's lost it.
You don't have to water it, you put it outside, it's wet for sure.
Yeah.
Shower.
Still lash and left it out last night.
No. When you work on things, keep it dry.
For growing, you can use a bigger pot.
Yeah, just to get the growth, a bigger pot when after you've
The
done.
more roots, the more green you have.
Yeah.
Just give us a bit of history on the tree.
I was given it about 3 years ago.
Right, and you just kept it alive? Okay.
We have some, it was dying now, but there were some bugs on the somewhere.
Will, this is your specialty, mate.
Oh, thanks. Like the Nabari on it isn't bad, but there's this one heavy, huge root here that I think needs to come off really, and it's a possibility just to carry it on up the trunk and make a small hollow there. The other option is to cut back further, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and create just like a
Yeah.
from the and create. You've got your trunk and do it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Get back to this stage
Down here.
lower down.
Yeah. A more powerful, smaller tree. Yeah. Just bring in the cut up here and then carve a little bit of a hollow base. When would you do that? Well, that can be done now.
We'll get that done today. Yeah.
And there's some nice stuff around the back here as well, but just a little bit lower down in the soil.
All you could see was a bit poking out.
Was it a birch?
Yeah. And I've just got it established in the pot, and it's actually starting to open now.
Oh no.
Getting a bit confused, I think.
Yeah, I think all seasons. I'll quickly start on this. This is the ramification that you should be looking at in deciduous trees, yeah, and that's what you can see. There's a clear difference here. So these trees bud like mad. They grow like mad. So there are some things that you're going to keep on this, but I would say you're definitely going to be cutting off. If you want that small broom, which I think is perfect for this tree, I'd be taking that off.
You take that off completely.
Yeah, I would. Will? But,
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know how, if we could lift slightly. Because if you cut that out, you're kind of very open in here, so it needs closing up slightly,
Yeah.
doesn't it, really? And lose this one, perhaps, and this, well, no, that could come out. I've tried birch several times before, and I have trouble with dieback, really bad. Yeah. I don't know if it's listed downy birch or no, it's the normal one, isn't it?
As far as
That's the pendulum.
Yeah. Or, sorry.
Take that off, keep this tree and you know, cut it there and try to grow the tree with
Or keep it as a windswept.
more with movement, or it doesn't have to be, you know, like that. Just, you know,
Yeah.
you've got nice taper.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Just to this, cut that off, and then really you want that's too long there, so you could possibly cut it there.
Yeah.
Whose is this one? Okay. History on it? Should we put it up on here?
I bought it 2 years ago. It's in a very small pot, not very healthy, so I put it in a big pot. It's been in a pot now for nearly 2 years. It's got some vigour back into it.
Okay. All right, I'll start on this. This is typical what happens with a lot of junipers is that have not been kept on top of, you know. They tend to grow out of shape and they tend to get the foliage at the end and, you know, very empty in the middle, and you get these pom-poms on the end. This is a great tree to bring to Burrs because you will end up with a really credible bonsai at the end of this. But, and I'll let the guys go at it, I expect you to be losing at least 50% of this foliage.
One of these two tops has got to go.
Well, I think probably not, actually.
Oh, really?
Well, we'll wait and see. Wait and see. Okay, because is that two tops? Or is that a top and that's not? All right. Who would like to go first?
Tony,
Oh.
I two tops is this small, this top, and 1, 2, 3, 4 layering for stone.
Yeah?
Yeah,
But this small trunk.
It's very thin.
Height.
Yeah.
Very height and small literati, maybe.
yeah, I think same thing. Literati. This is your top.
Top.
You know, like you said earlier.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll move that branch. Remove that branch. Possibly just those two branches.
Yeah.
Those two are mine, and everything else would go. Yeah.
Lots of different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, there are many possibilities.
Yeah.
Also, possibility can be, no, keep this and keep this. That.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only these two. So you have a tree here and a tree there. And the rest is dead. There are many possibilities. Whatever you fancy.
Well,
I like Terry's initial one. I thought that was a good idea. That one, isn't it? I mean, that is that, and this one. Yeah.
Make a small tree.
If you think in your mind, you're driving up through Scotland, you see in the distance these beautiful pine trees. You know, they've got slender trunks and they've got a nice top and another branch.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're going to have with this.
Yeah.
Now, on the subject of air layering, it all depends on how eager you are to have a nice finished tree, because those air layers in Southport are going to take 2 years. So you're going to have plastic bags on this tree for 2 years, or you just cut it generally.
If you want to airlay, no problem. The thing is, do you want to airlay? Because the future in junipers is only Itogawa.
Yeah.
Sinensis, Kishus, Argenti, everybody only wants, where's a small tree?
Yeah.
This is the best juniper foliage you can have, because it doesn't make dirty shit, it doesn't grow, it makes clouds.
Yeah.
So everybody works with it. Also in Japan we talked about, let's say, I'm not sure. The thing is in Japan, if you have a masterpiece from a Takakufu or whatever, it has been done. In Japan they also craft those trees with new Itogawa,
foliage.
so they make like a new coat.
Yeah.
They remove in time all the foliage in order to get that, because if you use Itogawa, you can have a step further in progress,
Yes.
that you will never have in Sinensis or Kishus or Genti or whatever.
Okay. So that's that, in my opinion, is the pine tree in the distance when you're walking through the hills in the moon. And that's what I would go with.
You can buy those trees for a few euro,
Yeah.
and you have it already with roots. And you can do whatever you want. So it's a waste of time. For me, waste of time.
So don't
Just cut it off,
just
make
cut
the
it
tree.
up. Make the tree. That's what we. Yeah.
And it was knocked off the shelf and the pot broke, so
that was like an emergency repotting to that one to come back because it had dried out and the roots had dried out. It's been in that pot now for 2.5 years.
I think this is absolutely, first of all, it's been beautifully prepared, ready for working. The deadwood is nice and clean, you've identified the live vein, it's firm in the pot, the foliage is good, and this is Itiwagara, yeah?
No.
This is not Itiwagara. Well, it's nice. Yeah.
Well, there are many varieties, but it's not Itiwagara. Sorry.
Okay. So, are you going to go
But
with it?
it's so healthy that it grows like Itiwagara,
Yeah.
but it is sinensis. But yesterday I saw the tree right away. I think the movement there is beautiful. Really thick branches. So it's been prepared for a bonsai for a long time. The problem is the intonation. So there are many options. I haven't spotted the right one yet, but but it's really interesting. It was like this, of course. My third thing was to lift it right away. I'm not saying that it's the right one, but you have two possibilities or more, but there are different ways of view that can be interesting. Because you have a first branch here you have a hanging branch if you look on the other side. The live vein is, I think, everywhere visible, also where it starts. So you don't have the problems if you take a day you don't see the vein, or from here. The vein is everywhere visible. So the only thing you can say is if you go from here, you have more genes, more movements, etc., etc. But for sure, some branches have to go because you have a lot of foliage. There are a lot of branches. I don't know, people can see it.
There's a lot of character in those branches,
yeah.
so they can make some really nice gin as well.
Yeah, you have to, because if you have a tree like this with this size of trunk, you have too many branches.
Yeah, it's too,
Like Pablo draw, if you have like a literati, you only need a few branches at the right positions. And it's the art of taking it away.
Oh, this come from Czech. It's Czech. Okay. So it's been. I've had it in my garden for a year now, and I've got it. The buds were already there, but I've got it to back bud quite well. I'm quite pleased about that. When I saw the buds coming, I cut the dominant bud off the top, and you can see this bud's back really, really well. One of the nice parts of the tree, unfortunately, is dead, which is this bit. So the choice is, do we either just cut it off, or do we carve it and make a feature? I don't know at this stage. But it's now up for discussion. Who would like to start? Paul, Heinz, you're the man.
Why do you think came over here?
Řekli, že to je Borovice z lokality, kam chodíme sbírat.
This tree is from our location when we are going for collecting.
Zajímavé na tom je, že příběhem začíná ta rostlina, že to je moje první rostlina z velké výšky a na laně.
The first tree which we collected from a rope.
Je opravdu, pochází ze slunné stěny, velmi stará rostlina z velké divočiny. Co? Maybe 150.
Maybe 150 years old, maybe more. From the south side of the hill.
Krásná borka.
No, co bys s tím dělal?
A vlastně snažil bych se zachovat ten charakter té rostliny, to znamená, pokud by to šlo zachovat.
Stáhnu to víc dohromady.
I was thinking first bring this branch closer to the trunk and make a gin out of this and then think further. Because it's not a clear image so far.
It's a difficult.
Yeah.
Anybody can do easy trees.
It's nice.
You don't want to work on easy trees.
Yeah.
This front.
And there's also some inverse taper in the branch. So.
If you walk in a nursery, you see trees, and you see a tree, and you say, okay, boom, 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 tree. My advice is never buy it. Buy a tree, you won't find the solution. If you want to develop yourself, the best thing you can do is to have a tree. Really, really.
This requires a lot of
Fix it in a nice tree. Yeah.
Bring it like this, compact, like a tree.
I think here, this way now.
Yeah.
And bring it here. Beautifully moving all the way through to here. That design. Make a nice tree.
How much of the foliage would we keep?
You don't see this. This is reduced by because that is a part of the main trunk, so that makes that look that thick instead of that thick. You know, being in front of the main trunk coming down, then you don't see the reverse favour.
So your front is from where you're
from exactly where I am now.
All right.
From here, and the apex there. Yeah, and make a little cascade, finishing the branches here. Top of the foliage there. This is
Keep the deadwood.
yeah. Well, that then will be above the tree, and then also the movement goes to here.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Do you got any special wishes?
No. It's entirely what you
Well,
want.
it's all depends if you bring
jeans.
if you bring this here, you can see it here.
But if you could just pull this back to here. This.
Have you had a look at it, Nick? He's been looking at it the last hour, scratching his head.
Yeah.
Any ideas? What would you like? What would you?
Well, as I said, I will bring the big trunk or branch closer to the trunk and make a gin out of this. And then think further.
Then think next.
Yeah. Plug the old needles so I get more in touch with the trees.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, Pavel's doing a drawing. Mikey, you've done yours.
At this stage with the development of the tree, if you're plucking needles off, surely that's going to slow it down in effect, isn't it?
Yeah, I've not plucked any needles. I've not plucked any needles. What I've done is cut the
Yeah.
cut the
I
whole thing off.
wouldn't, for styling purposes, I wouldn't take any more needles.
Oh
off.
no. Okay. Well, while Pavel's doing that drawing, let's move on to our next one.
The uniqueness about this is the size of the trunk on the juniper. Right? It went up to a client who virtually killed it, kept it in his conservatory for about 4 years. I've managed to grow it back in very, very healthy. My main problem is I think one of these two branches has got to go. Right? I'd just like opinions on which way the artist would go with it.
Say it again, Chris. What branches did it have to go?
One of these two, I think.
Yeah.
My initial, couple of years ago, I was thinking I was going to move it down through this side and lose this big area here.
So my feeling for the first thing is you have a wide part and a long tree, and you have small, it has to be, or you go like, I'm not saying you have to, but, or you say, okay, we build, I think if you need ramification for a tree like this, you need more, here, this apex, this you have to clean for sure, make it more open, because this is not in the same, how do you put it in this?
Parallel.
If you have for, let's say, this is 100%, this has to be 100%. If you prune it like 30, this has to be like 30.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is too wide. For me now, this is one tree, this is a tree. Like two trees glued to one piece of wood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this is a little bit the same, this is completely different.
Yeah.
So, the way the tree is, let me see from there. For me, the movement, the way this grows, it grows like mother and son, it's two apex. I always will keep this for sure and try to build a ramification with this. Because the way it is now, we have the first branch, you have a back branch, and you have to start here. The easiest way would be cut it all off and make wood and work only with this.
Yeah. That's my option. It's a big decision.
No, it's not a big decision because you can make an instant bonsai right away with this and make wood and gins. Change the intonation a little bit and you're ready. If you go for the long term, you have to build the same ramification because now it's long. It's long and straight.
I think if you would, I quite like this option. The thing is, when we look at this tree right now, all we just see is a pom-pom. Yeah? But what you'd do is you would build that structure in there, and then you would separate these out. So in my view, you bring one of these up here. So this would be like so.
You can also even bend this
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
The curve be more down.
So, and
There is actually a bit of movement in there. We looked at this last night.
Yeah.
It sits.
it was a guy wire.
There's a little crack there.
Right. So, but what you do is you make a much more powerful tree, and it will be more individual again. You are going to gym that, which means you're going to lose some of these lag lines on the front.
The only problem is that if you use this is a live vein,
Yeah.
because this is not a text. So the meaning is if you keep this as a front, this is more beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
live
you're not
vein.
got any.
You don't see when it starts. So that's this has to be the front end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the wood, this has to be the front for sure. Only this. Yeah. Oh, we have to change it a bit. Yeah. This has to be the front end. That's your tree.
The choice is yours, Chris.
Yeah.
For sure, you have a part for the auction. Good, eh? You have to see the positive way.
Okay.
Foliage is falling here and here. We have to move a little bit like this and let it grow. This will grow for sure. It will grow. But for an instant bonsai, this can be very powerful with character. So it's the same story with the other juniper. It's the same thing. If this is 100% perfect and it's on exhibition in 5 or 6 or 7 years, whatever, it's just a big juniper.
Yeah.
No more. It's still a juniper, of course, but if it's a juniper, small, with a lot of deadwood and character, there's more expression.
That sounds like.
I used to have from that varieties,
I
trees.
don't know this species. So.
1, 2, 3, 4, 10, tops.
Right. I used to have trees like this in Burrs, and big massive woods this high, with purple coins. Coins.
Yeah.
Coins.
Coins.
But really, really powerful, beautiful. It's good to work on. You can bend a little bit, but if you work a little bit too much, it dies.
Okay. Let's move
But
on.
you can make a small tree, of course.
Carlos.
Like,
Many from
yeah.
this nice one part, one top. Here, nice bench.
Andrew helped me, Andy and Paul came and helped me collect an enormous yew tree off a cliff. And in payment, he got this tree. Yeah. And it is fantastic. But you know, when you're looking to buy Yamadori or any raw material, you got to question, why is it in such a long box and not in a little pot? And it's in a long box because clearly there is a long route that goes.
I thought you didn't have another one today.
Oh, is that?
I like it.
These two compete with each other.
That's right.
Too big.
Are you going to carve them later? Well, not carve them.
You just snap them off.
Yeah.
I think that one's got to go. Well, that
Yeah,
first
the
one.
fat one.
Yeah.
If this is layered now and the top kept small and reduced, this is what you see.
Yeah.
Distance.
Yeah.
This is a good front round here. I actually like the way it just leans in the pot. I think you've got everything there, top and
Okay,
background.
I have one. You add the raffia. You put the raffia on.
Raffia to,
Yeah.
to pull in a little more.
Okay, so you have to decide for yourself if you want to use this branch or not. If you use this branch, these two, this here you need some raffia, a little bit. And this part, because if you bend this part, for example, if you want to close the gap here, you only need raffia from here. Because this is the point that will break. So you need raffia, this is okay. Here, this one, this is okay. The other thing is with raffia, everybody puts the raffia, now it's straight, but you have to put the raffia, let me see. The raffia now is like vertical. You have to be like wiring, 90 degrees. In the outside, if you bring this to there, it means that the curves has to be also this way. The other thing is, if you add the raffia like this, and you bend it, this part opens.
Yeah, like that.
So, the wisest thing is, to add some, if you have some verticals, You put outside, then you put a 90 degrees. So if you do this, this will be under pressure, but the texture of the raffia is vertical. So this will surely secure this thing. So if the gap opens, this is there to protect. In my opinion, you have to decide what to do. I would close the gap for sure. This. If you close it, you get nice, like a knee. It's very beautiful because it grows up and then something happens and tree goes down. Then we can make here some green. If we can bring it here, we can bring it here. If we bring it here, we can make a top. You can also say, okay, we make a gin, close it and make a small tree here.
I collected our one about 5 years ago, and 2 years ago we made 10 and we put wires at the back, split it, so that was straight from there to there. So we've got that curve in it.
So you introduced that curve,
Yeah.
that's grown really well. That looks natural. Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago there was a stump still sticking up there, and cut it all out. And it was quite well.
Yeah. So in 2 years that's bent.
Yeah.
And as it gets more cambion-y, it actually does more natural movement.
I think as well one of the reasons it's staying in position is because what you've got here is you've got dead wood that's dried out, and that drying out has kept it in that position. That's good. I'm impressed.
Oh, listen. Do we have some screws and screwdriver here?
Yeah.
Okay. We can add a screw here. We can bring it a little bit. Okay. The thing is, the foliage is on this side. It has to be here.
Yeah.
So we have to close this one underneath or on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit maybe, and then make the top has to be here. And normally when a bar is there, the top has to be here, but the movement is too there. So like you say, we have to bring it a little bit up.
No, top left, right.
Oh, you want to bring it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's wide. Okay.
No problem. This left, bent, this part
Will come up.
And then the back goes up.
Yeah, but I thought that the problem was that if you bend this to here, it's impossible, you say.
No, I was just concerned that the last time we worked on it, we did work on that. You've just got to be careful that if you do pull it, that you don't split because it's going to...
Do we have a...
Pavel was talking. No, I don't have it. Does anybody have a clamp, a branch clamp?
We need it for the several
You have it?
things.
We have it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have it?
Pavel
Yes,
was on
yes,
about...
yes.
Yeah, we have it. Okay. So, my
Small and big.
No, but listen, I think we do this first.
Yeah.
And then we see how it works out,
Yeah.
and then you can see the next step.
Okay, so...
Mám tady I šponové.
Small one. Okay, so...
When we come to do this, we'll tell everybody when we're doing it, so we can come
Well,
and see it.
what do you say?
I guess, Pavel was on about splitting it down here and to move that to let it go.
Okay, that can be good. Yeah, so the power is not there, but there. Okay, good.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Collected then, it's been in that pot 5 or 6 years, and I bought it from John Pitt.
Alright.
Then I took the top out, and I've been waiting for the British Burrs to carry on with it.
So what we got is we got a tree that's been collected at least 10 years. So it's not freshly collected. It's collected 10 years, 3 years in this pot, 5 years in this pot. So you've got, right? You know, it's really good. It's great to work with. You can do a lot with this tree.
Where was it collected from?
New Forest. New Forest tree. Nice bark on it.
Cut off, this branch, yes. And this problem part,
Is there?
dead wood, yes.
Gin?
No, not bent down.
No.
This new top
Up.
up and very nice
Yeah.
double, yes.
Two.
One top.
Okay.
Yes.
This
And
top lower.
this interesting movement.
Yeah.
This small trunk.
Keep. Yeah, you keep this.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what we talked about.
Yes.
This is a fault, but this is make the tree more special. If you cut it off, it's just a straight trunk.
Yeah.
This makes the tree special.
Front here.
Yeah.
Also, if you are 20 years further, this will be a tree.
Yeah.
A tree on a tree. Now it's a branch on a tree, but it will be a tree on a tree.
Yeah. Okay. Malcolm's had this a long time, So that's great because it means that it's growing nice and healthily in his garden. So where do you live?
This is Idogawa.
North or south?
Dorset.
Dorset, all right. So it's a bit sunnier there, you know. This is Idogawa. 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 Hi. One of the problems that you get with these, if you're buying these, is you can sometimes buy them, they've got big, thick branches. It's happened to
Field grown, it's field grown.
Faisal. Happened to you, didn't it? You had a similar tree, didn't you? All it had was big, thick branches on it. What you had to do was take them all off and just concentrate on those that we had thin.
So all I've been doing is growing it, they get put them away, leave them as possible gifts.
And it grows as fast as plants.
Yeah, feed them well, they're doing that.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, no. Listen. I love Yamadori. Yeah? My thing is Yamadori also. I like character. The thing is, if you take this front, this is straight up. This is shit. Okay. The tree is a tree. Okay. It doesn't matter because if you have this, it will grow. In time, everything grows. But if you always keep this, in time, this is still there. If you cut it and you work with this, you can move it. Okay, that's one thing. The trunk goes to the back. That's not good. The trunk has to be in the front. That is no good. The beautiful thing of this is this goes like this, and the curve, because of the curve here, this curve is a part of the tree, is a mix. Okay, so this is good. If you take this front, this is more beautiful. Interesting, the tree comes to you, everything is there. The branches are here, you don't have to cut this because it's in the back. You have everything there, only this part has to be here. Yeah. Okay. The only ugly thing is this.
Sir, maybe, yes, and maybe small, shall we?
Yeah, and only this branch here.
Here?
Yeah.
And here.
Yeah, but why keep? Why? No, you have here the branch, you have the top, you have here some, because this grow. Now, okay, listen, to have this as a front is for this branch and these together is perfect. Also for this is perfect. The only thing is the tree goes to there instead of to you. That's a problem. So we can bring the foliage back, the foliage come to here, but the trunk goes to there.
Že můžeš přinést jakoby větve dopředu, ale stejně pořád ten
Ne, ale pohledovka je stará.
No, však jo, ale to říkal, že kdyby to chtěl pohledovku z druhé strany.
This is beautiful. This we can bring to here. This is the only part that is ugly.
Toto je jediná jakoby škaredá část.
No, tell. This is all. I'm only discussing that for if you make a decision on basis of what. If you make a decision you want to work here, then you say, okay, this is no good and this is no good, but for the rest everything is perfect. If I take the other side as a front, then you can say
this side.
No, okay, but I mean, I'm only talking to everybody how you decide to. If I have to decide, I make a decision in work. I try to explain how a decision is made. That's important.
Jo, že se na tom snaží jenom vysvětlit, jak dokáže tomu rozhodnutí, že uvažovat, jak se postupuje.
Because the trunk is, this is flat and straight, the trunk there. There's no texture, no gin, nothing, and it goes away. Here you have a gin. This is more beautiful, of course. This is the only part that is. It's details. I know, it's minor details.
Don't you find that with bonsais? The branches where you want them rolled on the
Always.
other side, and the dead wood goes on the
The
wrong
best
side.
tree you collect dies. The tree always special. The best tree dies when you collect. If you start the tree on the hill, it dies.
Yeah. It's a catapult. So, what do you do? Do you take, which one do you take off? Do you take any of them off, or do you just hide it, or do you turn it around? Personally, I would take that one off, because you've got, this is going nicely here. These are very brittle. You can't really move them that much, but the great thing about it is, you can cut it.
But if you reduce that there, then it's
better, yeah. You take that one.
It's completely the same height.
You take that one. Yeah.
Would you change the orientation?
Yeah, then you could actually do your broom.
Would you?
Yeah. Yeah, it just needs to be cut at that point there, and then you've got more of a step. Yeah, it's less than the width of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it towards the back.
Yeah.
Because it's the way it's planted in the pot, we always automatically think like that.
Yeah,
You want this? Spindle.
Spindle through.
I think if you're going to do a broom style as well, you've got to work on ramification. Get the structure right first, and then the thing about the tree is to keep trimming and get ramification.
Okay, we've got the last tree now. Yes?
No.
This is the last one. Shh. Guys, we've got the last tree, then everybody can get on with work, and then it's soon.
Lunchtime.
Soon. Okay, bit of history.
What came out of my neighbour's garden 2 years ago.
Just a minute.
There was 3 of them, I could only take one. And they lifted crown, so there's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, so it was already cut?
No.
Oh no, you cut it, alright.
I cut it. I had to cut it here first to give some foliage at the top.
Yeah.
And this spring I cut it down further down.
Yeah.
This is all this was brown. It was going to be at the bottom, when this is up the come. I had to move it to something a bit smaller.
Right, okay, so it's only just been recently. Right. Oh, 2 months. Oh, that's all right. So, it's got a fantastic nabari. That's great. And it's also got some character in here. Yeah? Yeah. So,
but that's also creating tapering
in the tree, yeah. This could be just be a classical upright. Yeah, couldn't it? Could easily be a classical. You could make either a classic upright, or you could put drama into it. It's up to you whether you want drama. Yeah, and I'd say that this is your front for 2 reasons. It is coming slightly this way, and you've got really good nabari. You can see here. Yeah. But some work needed. It's strong for health. Yeah. It's selecting the branches you want. Yeah. And this is good also that this one is at the front here. Did you wire that up? Yeah. That's exactly right. Because when this was cut and collected, the first thing you did was wire that one up again. And look, and in the first year, it's not even. How long ago did you collect? 2 years. 2 years. That is fantastic. And look at it. And you've done. Yeah. So whatever you're doing, whatever your feeding regime or watering regime is absolutely right, because look, these are just so healthy.
Work it.
And soup is here. Go.
Yes, I've done it.
And some better coffee is here.
Yes, also. And bread.
Okay. So.
I'm writing to
What we'll do is we'll start. It's too late to go. Are you into chocolate shop?
Because this is straight and flat. I want to make a little sharpie. So it's more interesting. And bring it down and make a small strip. It's like a literati. You know the branches that are there.
If you've seen this in a bonsai version, you would pay 35-40 quid for it. This is a cheap tree. 5. Tell me about the pots. Who bought the pots? Who bought all the pots? Tell me. Okay. Right, I'm assuming you're not selling this at 5,
Yeah.
5. Sure, it's Nick. Nick Rosman. Okay. You've got to go right side. Good. Whose is this? Will? Yeah. How long you have it?
2-3 years, something like that.
Okay, I'm assuming there is a reserve on this. No. There is no reserve on this. Okay. I'll start this off with 10. 10, I'm on 10. That's my bid. 12. I've got some 12. 15, 20, 25 anywhere, 25, 30 anywhere, 30, 35 anywhere, 35, 35, 35, cheap tree at 35.
It's a gower as well.
It's Itagawa, 35, 35, sold. That is a bargain. He's happy now. 35. Okay, next one, the student again. Yeah. Okay. It was Will's. Will. Okay. Start 20 on this again, Itagawa. Yes? 20, 25 anyway. 25, 25. It's a good one. 25. 30, 30, 30, 35, 35 over here, 35. Is that a bit time we're saying about it? 35, 35. This is a cheap treat for 35 quid. 35. 40. It's worth 45. 45. You're not bidding on it. You've got enough trees. 45. 45. Going, sold. Nice one. Whose is this?
Mine.
Will?
No reserve.
There is no reserve on this. I will bid 50. Anybody going to take more than 50? Oh, no, don't. Go sit down. Look, I'm going to take it. 50. 55. 55. 55. 55.
Yeah.
And yet 60.
65.
65. 70. 70. 70. New bidder, 75. Me. 75. 75. Any bids?
We're going to do domestic.
80.
So that'll be fun tonight at your house.
80. This is a very cheap tree for 80 quid. This is a ludicrously cheap tree for 80 quid. 80 pounds. 80 pounds.
85.
85. We've got to get at least 100 on this. It's for a good cause. 85. Any more?
90.
90. 90. 90.
Hang on.
90. 90 pounds to Faisal. 90 pounds. Any more? Any more? This is an unbelievably cheap tree for 90 quid. That is a cheap tree for 90 pounds. No? Going. Faisal, 90 pounds. Well done. 6 pounds. Think that's it? No. That closes our sale for this evening. Thank you very much indeed. Karen, have you got a calculation of what we've earned?
Well, I think just do that then.
Oh, put the £6. Yeah, okay. We'll do that. All right. Thank you very much indeed. The time now is what time is it?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay.
Come and pay now.
Yeah. Could you come and settle your accounts now, please? Make an order for you. Or make a donation over dinner as well.
Not my thing there.
So this is
I'm telling you, all this stuff can come into the same place. Even if you mind it, you'll take you. See that, we're going to keep this on this side.
You're okay?
Yes, good. Yes.
Yes, that is out of there now, so we can put that back a bit to there so that it's not conflicting with that. Yeah. Was too much. Too much? It was.
Yes, one big one. Everybody is yes.
Everybody wants some of them.
Just that. We don't know which goes to I want one. Yeah. Yeah, he's waiting for you outside. You're welcome. Thank you.
Great light.
This we can do with our
Notice to us, okay?
So it's a false thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, but I'm with a slight stroke. Paul asked me, so
You don't knock me tree over.
It is interesting, you know?
Feel like for more hot nice one.
But you have to find the right. The thing is, I think you still need something.
An umbrella. So this one's got a little bit more finesse, a bit more delicate.
Well, I was going to take that.
It's always best to go around the car, this one, and then on.
Amazing.
I don't have any problems all these years. And it was a big Yamadori large, and I started 5 minutes. It was on a turntable, and I had my scissor, and I was, and it drops off the turntable, and the scissor goes swap. So at the bone, I got white, bleeding everywhere. I had to go to the hospital, and it's okay, but this part can be alive here. It's not a problem.
So I think about 30% of water. If you are high.
But what I mean is, if you can make it, move if you want to make it. Because if you can only do this, bring this with it here, but then it's similar than this one. Behind it, no more than that.
Yes, right, for the sun. Yes.
So you can see here.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, yes, I saw it.
Well, that was a good experience in wiring. Think about the white, please.
It's not a question of selling money. It was just open as those. Yeah. We're still fucking around with that. Yeah. If you don't know where we will, I get that.
I used to go more. I actually was always from. I am. But you don't.
Ja, der würde sich totglühen.
This one in the soil will work? Yes.
There's a possibility.
For me, to have it both is also very good. It's good.
Well, that's what I was.
This one.
Oliver, now
Carlos,
Tell me.
what is the name
So you like a root?
Yeah.
Very good, sir.
We know what's going on there. We know what's happening here. I'm a little concerned about this coming back that way. You can always cut it up. Yeah. Everything should be going this way.
Yeah,